Hello, it's Wendy Jensen here, and welcome to the Healing Questions Guide series. In this video, we're going to talk about leukemia. Now, if you look in the book, it's going to be on page 296. Here's a cover of the Healing Questions Guide in case you're not familiar with it. You can get it at my website at wendyjensen.com, or you can get it on Amazon. So if we look under page 296, we have leukemia, and it immediately has in parentheses, it says see cancer, because leukemia is a type of cancer. But we're just going to go over the questions specific to leukemia. So there's 9 of them. So what I would like you to do is, as you listen to the question and you feel like it really resonates with you, stop the video and go ahead and process it. Write down some of the thoughts that are coming to you. Now, if you tend to listen to the whole, here's the thing, I'm going to tell you a secret right here about your ego. If you listen to the whole video and instead of stopping when there's a question that triggers you, you've just alerted your ego mind that something's coming on. So that's why I'm saying stop the video and ask the question, be still with it. Go ahead and use it right then, right there. It will be more effective than if you go back and read it later and try to analyze it and try to open up with it. So if it triggers you, stop the video and read, or go ahead and ask the question and listen and go ahead and write down what's coming to you and open up to it and let the healing come. Open up that mind now. Okay, so leukemia, number 1. Here's the healing question. What will it take to feel safe, to know who I am, and to be who I am? Now, things that have to do with cancer, it's like an internal attack on the self. Kids, they're little kids that are born with leukemia, and you say, well, how could they're too young to have already started attacking themselves. Well, what I understand is it's an inheritance from a family line that have had so much self-attack going on that it showed up, that epigenome was triggered and it came in through the child. What happens when you have a little innocent child come into your life who has one of these, tremendous diseases? It is one of those things that brings a family together. And I've seen it time and time again, where these little children, it's almost like their soul agreed to come in and be a challenge because it stirs up the deepest levels of love within the family that's affected. So, what will it take to feel safe, to know who I am, and to be who I am? If you do have a little child, it's what I love about the Healing Questions Guide is you can ask the question for the child, still being the parent. So you're not going to ask a 2 or 3-year-old that question. You're going to notice that that question is there hovering and contributing to what's going on in the child. And now you have information that you can be a source for them to give them that safety to be who they are. And so that's a cool thing about processing as a parent with the child with some of these diseases. So number 2, what will finally release me from the grip of despair and allow hope to flood my entire being? So despair is a very stale and stagnant and heavy state of consciousness. And so when you recognize that I am in despair, sometimes you might even realize that despair has been my state of consciousness since I could remember. But when you ask the mind and you ask God and you ask for the heavens to be open in behalf of helping you understand how you can unlock this despair, you're going to start attracting things into your life that are going to help unlock that despair to you. But if you never think to ask the question, you might not realize what level of despair you're really functioning or non-functioning at. Number 3, what will it take to envision a hopeful future and trust that God will allow me to create a whole new life? So some of the notes that I took down with leukemia, once I went over this rejection of the self and feeling very desperate, like there is no hope. and feeling like it's not safe or appropriate to feel their discomfort, or safe or appropriate to express their discomfort. So with this question number 3, what will it take to envision a hopeful future and trust that God will allow me to create a whole new life, or create my life anew? This opens up the windows for that revelation to come through for you. Let's go to number 4. What will it take to release myself from all the burdens of my family and turn it over to God? So a lot of times there are certain types of people, souls that come to the planet that almost agree to take on all of the family issues. And you can imagine that creates quite a health crisis within the consciousness of the body and in the mind. So if you consider what will it take to release myself from the burdens of my family and turn it over to God. Now, if we think to turn it back over to them, that's not going to work for a soul who's agreed to heal the family. But if you think about turning it over to God, a higher source, a higher power, it gives you a little bit more hope. So let's go to number 5. What will it take to give myself permission to verbalize and express how I feel about things, how I react to things, and why I have the beliefs that I have? So a soul that's been really shut down in their relationships, even from childhood, if you've just been, your ideas are shut down, or you've been told to shut up, or that what you have to say is not valuable, or when you say something, somebody says, well, that's stupid. A lot of us have experienced that in our life, growing up and in our relationships, at work. When we really take it into heart, it starts to be an attack on ourselves, and we don't know at an unconscious level we're allowing that attack to continue flowing through us and creating that toxic consciousness that's contributing to the cancer. So number 6, what will it take to allow myself to know and experience real love? This question could be probably in all of the healing questions. But again, this is an opportunity for you to open up and consider, what is real love? What will it take for me to open up to higher degrees of love and to see that love is all around me, and to allow that love to be within me, and to return to that energy of love and that consciousness of love, which is the state in which you were created? Let's go to number 7. What people in my life am I still harboring ill feelings toward? And what will it take to let it go? So when you ask this question and you be still with it, your mind should scan over all the people in your life. Some of those people you know that you've had an issue with, and it feels like the forgiveness is complete. But maybe there's still a little stream or another layer that needs to be forgiven. And maybe your consciousness will flow through you a whole stream of people that you haven't forgiven yet. Again, forgiveness increases your state of awareness and your consciousness, and it frees you up to experience that real love that I was talking about. Number 8, what will it take to embrace and comprehend the principles of real love? It's very simple to number 7. And number 9, what will it take to allow myself to love even deeper? So you're taking that opportunity to learn how you can love others and how you can give that freely without expecting anything in return. And that's the higher law of love, is to be able to give and give and give from your heart with not feeling like anybody has to accept it, like anybody has to change, without needing them to appreciate it, without needing them to validate it, without needing them to thank you for it in any way, to just give it and give it. You are created to be able to supply that love, but we shut it off when we're very young. And so if we learn how to just continue giving it and opening up to higher levels and it's almost like a fountain within, that you're the one that fills it up because of the love that you've generated for yourself, knowing your divine, who you are as a divine being. And as you feel up from within, you no longer need other people to validate you. You no longer need other people to show you your value and your worth. You're getting it from within. And if you've been around people like that, they are so attractive. Attractive in a sense that you feel safe around them. There's nothing that you have to do or be to make them happy. They are in charge of their happiness. It is a skill. You know, I've heard that happiness is a choice. I believe that's baloney. It's a skill. Happiness is a skill. So, after going through these questions and remembering them to do the ones that really feel like they're connected to you, I would even consider doing the ones that don't feel connected to you and maybe just feel like maybe there's a time in your life that you felt that way. It just offers more deeper investigation. So here I would like to leave you with the positive affirmation. And again, I would leave this on your fridge, or I would put it in a little card on your wall, in your wallet. I would put it above your bed. I mean, if you're struggling with leukemia, you have some pretty heavy hitters going on. And you need all the loving support. And words are powerful. They have energy. And when you speak them, they're powerful. But when you feel them, you're attracting new energies into your world. And you know what? When you're attracting and you're surrounded with love all the time, it's really difficult for that old, stale, stagnant, toxic energy to stay. It gets pushed out, especially when you've identified it and dismissed it. So here's the positive affirmation. I claim my ability and my right to give and feel real love. I have the words to express myself in wise and compassionate ways. I am willing to give up the beliefs that are interfering with my happiness. That's what the Healing Questions Guide is all about, is identifying the beliefs that are not working for you. So if you're struggling with leukemia, invite higher levels of love into your life. Notice all the good that's around you. But I think the most important thing that you can do at a core level, and I'm not saying to dismiss all of the medical things or the other traditional models that you might be using to heal your body. I'm not saying dismiss those, but what I am inviting you to do is to understand that at the core level, until it is realigned at the core level, that you're still creating that environment for the leukemia to grow. And so stop feeding it with thoughts that are so against yourself and are so abusive to yourself, and start really creating an environment of self-acceptance and self-love, and see what happens. Thank you for watching the Healing Questions Guide video library. This is Wendy Jensen. You can go get my book at wendyjensen.com, or you can go to Amazon and get it on Amazon, and even in the Kindle version. Take care.